K3 increases power, acceleration, engine cleanliness, and clutch performance. And we all know the increased power is all that's all we really want. So what is up, everybody? Welcome to the first video. Wow, my hand looks far away. Of the GoPro Hero 7 Black. We're doing the oil change, so we're going to be doing that. So I figured, while I've got to do this anyways, we're going to give you a little cold start. Things you're going to need to change the oil on an FZ8. Well, technically you're going to need an FZ8. That's just obvious. You're going to need something to catch the oil. You're going to need your oil filter. And you're going to need your oil and some sockets and stuff. Ignore these, those are from the brake project that I haven't taken care of. So let's do this basic, simplified. Start your bike, let it warm up as you have seen. Then there is your oil filter right there that needs to come off. There's also a drain plug right down here that needs to come off. That drains your oil, everything. That's obviously the filter, so you know, filterizes everything. Then you let it all drain out into said container. You refill with new stuff, and you're good. I mean, pretty simple, actually. It's kind of like the brakes. You actually, I don't know if the brake, whatever. If the brakes come in here, that we'll get at that. But unfill, drain, fill again, good. And just for the knowledge of it, it's a 17. Very extra like me, you buy one of these, which is just a filter wrench made in the US of A, which technically has the correct size wrench, and then that fits. There is a torque spec for the drain plug, but this pretty much is just get it hand tight. I'm still waiting for that to cool down a little bit. That's just a little bit too hot, but basically just, you know, there is a torque spec for that side. For the filter side, basically, if you can get it hand tight, you're fine. This is just a little bit extra. Once you break this loose with the wrench, you can just undo it with your hand. And yes, I'm wearing gloves because that's the kind of person I am. But if you keep pressure pushing upwards on it, it's not going to drop down into the oil. It's not going to get covered. And you just, whoop, and there's all the old oil. Has about, I want to say 5,000 miles on it from last year. Something like that. So it is a little dark, but there is nothing, no metal shavings or anything on the plug, so that's good. And you just let this drain out, take off said filter with your hand, or again, wrench if you have it. I mean, they make a bunch of different kinds of wrenches that you can take it off. Look at that sweet golden hour over there. Damn! GoPro wide view, baby. Just let it drain out, and then you can see all the stuff popping up from the bottom of this. It's got a little water in it from just, this thing has water. The whatever you want to call it has water. But it was a little dark, you know, nothing normal or nothing abnormal for a year's worth of oil runs. And so you just let it drain out, let that drain for a while, take this off, and then replace it with the new oil once it's, you know, once it's done that thing. Well, apparently we're just going to do 4K in this because I apparently didn't charge the GoPro battery enough. So, so obviously, like I said, you just let that's still draining. Obviously, this is now draining because that's where the filter came from. So you just screw this off. There's the filter, whatever. Let this all drain for a little while. Get as much of the old oil out as you can, because there's no point in having old oil mixed with new oil. I mean, it's not going to really hurt anything, but you might as well do it. And just for the knowledge side of things, the FZ8 takes 3.10 liters. I don't know what that is in Americanized values. So things on the right hand side, there's your fill, whatever you want to call it, cap, and then there's your oil window, whatever. So you put the new filter on, you put the drain plug back in, and then you take this off and you fill and you watch this, and then you should run it for a little while, see how much is left in it, add if you need, and just make sure that, you know, I think the rule of thumb is generally like halfway up this, you have more than enough oil in it. So we're gonna get to that. And if you didn't ever know, if you've never done this before, here's your filter. It comes like this, brand new and all nice and shiny. This plastic, obviously, you have to take off, or else things are not going to work as well. And once it's off, there's this little metal, or not metal, little plastic gasket that goes around it. That you want to lube up a little bit before you actually put it on the bike. So if you've got an old thing of oil or your new thing of oil, stick your finger in, rub it around, you know, lube it up, stick it in a little bit. Adult jokes. Yeah, lube up the seal, the ring, or whatever you want to call it. That way it's, you know, it's not dry when it goes onto the bike. And we're onto that. Oil filter, oil plug, which I have cleaned off, so it's all nice and shiny on the inside. Still dirty on the out, but that doesn't matter. And like I said, here's my oil, obviously. All the good, the 3, and then the one that I had left over, the 0.1. I'm just gonna use a little bit left out of that, but they are 1 liter each, so 3 of these, 0.10 extra, you know, depends on how much, whatever. So these are all going to go in the bike. I'm going to lube up this little ring, I'm going to stick it on hand tight, and then I'm going to put this in, and we're going to get on our way. So, as you can see, we're about 2.5-ish liters in. Again, I forgot, you're going to need one of these. I mean, you could pour it into that if you're really, really good, but as you can tell, I tried and failed. I'm about 2.5 liters in, so I'm almost above what you need. But obviously, this is just oil from, you know, straight down into the pan, or whatever you want to call it. Nothing's been run through. So I'm going to put a little bit more of that in there. We're going to start the bike and run it for a minute or two just to get oil, you know, through and around everything. And then we're going to check where it is, and we're going to keep filling. So like I said, I just started it, ran it for a minute, and it's, you know, way down here. So now we're going to fill the rest of this into it, and then maybe a little bit of extra from that old one over there, and we'll go from there. And just for the giggles of it, this is what I'm using. Maxim Racing Oils Premium 10W40, because this is what the mechanic that I buy this stuff from sells or uses, whatever trust, however you want to say it. And this is the 3rd year I've been using it. All over me now. 3rd year I've been using stuff. It's super nice. And if you read the label, let's see here. OEM approved, Kawasaki, KTM, Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda, Husqvarna, BMW, Triumph. Performance enhancing additive chemistry increases power, acceleration, engine cleanliness, and clutch performance. And we all know the increased power is that's all we really want. So, you know, cool stuff. It's pretty cheap for the 3 liters of oil, and the filter, it was 30 bucks. So not super expensive, obviously, because I'm doing it myself. I'm not paying him to do it. And it's actually pretty, like, I don't want to say nice, but it's kind of like a nice, easy, you know, therapeutic thing to do. It's super easy, takes about 5 minutes. And it's actually not that bad, especially like right now it's golden hour, it's sunny, and I'm working on the bike in the shed, so it works great for me.